All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're going to break down a rule that is an absolute game changer for any business, Professor Mucci's idea of revenue certainty. But first, we need to kind of tear down a really common idea about what success actually looks like.
So let me start with a question for you. A business hits $1 million in revenue. What's your first reaction? Probably, wow, they're crushing it. But are they really? What if I told you that not all revenue is created equal? Let's look at two different companies to see what I mean. Okay, so here's the tale of two businesses. Business A, it looks incredible on paper, $1 million, but it all came from just two huge one-time projects. So what happens next month? Well, they're right back at square one, desperately hunting for the next big score. Now, look over at Business B. Yeah, lower revenue, sure, but it's built on 100 small recurring contracts. They know with a ton of confidence what cash is coming in next month. So, which business would you rather own? Which one lets you sleep at night?
And this whole scenario brings us to a massive, and I mean massive, trap in the business world, the all-revenue myth. It's this super dangerous idea that a dollar is a dollar, period, no matter how you get it. But as we just saw, that is just not true.
And buying into that myth leads you straight into that dreaded feast or famine cycle. You know the one. 1 month you're popping champagne, celebrating a massive win, and the next, you're sweating, staring at your bank account, wondering how you're even going to make payroll. It is a crazy, stressful, and totally unsustainable way to run a company.
So, how do we get off this roller coaster? Well, that's exactly where Professor Mucci's first and most crucial rule comes into play. You can think of it as the antidote to all that financial stress and that constant feeling of uncertainty.
And here's the big twist. The solution isn't just about chasing bigger and bigger sales numbers. It's about a total shift in how you think. It's about moving away from worrying about the amount of revenue and instead focusing on the kind of revenue you're bringing in.
And that leads us to the heart of the matter, revenue certainty. So what is that, really? It's your ability to predict your income with a high degree of confidence. It's about trading that constant anxiety for predictability and, well, control. Professor Mucci just nails it here. Certainty, not just size, is the bedrock of a scalable and resilient business. Think about that. A business built on certainty is like a skyscraper with deep, solid foundations. It can handle storms, it can plan for the future, it can grow. But a business built only on size, that can be like a house of cards, ready to tumble at any moment. Okay, so the what and the why make sense, right? Now let's get down to brass tacks. How do you actually do this? Let's turn this idea from a theory into a real, actionable strategy for your business.
There are really 4 key steps to building this certainty engine. First, you got to analyze your streams. Get brutally honest with yourself. How much of your money is from one-off gigs versus recurring deals? Second, prioritize those recurring models. This means you got to shift your sales and marketing focus towards subscriptions, retainers, that kind of thing. Third, systemize your sales. You need a repeatable process that doesn't feel like you're reinventing the wheel every month. And finally, diversify. That last one is huge. As a general rule, you never want one single client to make up more than, say, 15% of your total revenue.
And when you do this work, believe me, the payoff is just enormous. It's about so much more than just having a predictable bank balance. Let's dig into what the real bottom line looks like. Just look at this chart. When your revenue is all over the map, how confident are you going to be to invest in growth? Hiring people, spending on marketing, getting new tech? Pretty low, right? But when you have certainty, bam, your confidence just skyrockets. You can make those bold, strategic moves because you're standing on solid ground.
The benefits are real for both you and the business. For you, the founder, we're talking about actual peace of mind. You can sleep at night. You can hire people with confidence, not fear. Your team feels way more secure, which, of course, boosts morale. And here's a big one. Investors and buyers value predictable revenue way, way more. It can literally increase the valuation of your business. And of course, you're just so much tougher when the economy gets a little shaky.
All right, so let's turn the spotlight on you for a minute. How's your business doing in this department? Let's run through a quick little self-assessment and figure out your certainty score.
So ask yourself these questions and be honest. Can you forecast your next quarter's revenue with more than 90% accuracy? Is more than half of your income coming from recurring sources? Do you have a sales process that's actually written down and repeatable? And finally, is your money spread out, or are you dangerously dependent on just 1 or 2 big clients?
So, thinking about your answers, here it is. The final and maybe the most important question of all. What is the one step
just one, that you can take this week to improve your score. It doesn't have to be some monumental shift. It could be as simple as brainstorming one recurring service idea or just writing down one part of your sales process. The journey to revenue certainty starts with a single step. What's yours going to be?